Today we'll talk about the price of Bitcoin, XRP and Solana. My ladies and gentlemen, we have just a few days left until the next big movements in the crypto market. Will the Bitcoin price head towards $45,000 in the coming days? And will we eventually see a significant reversal in the crypto market? Or is this crypto market reversal already taking place right now? And will it continue for the next several weeks? Let's begin by discussing the current price of Bitcoin, and then we'll move on to altcoins. And we'll discuss several economic developments that will significantly influence the entire crypto market. What exactly did we discuss with you in our past videos? I had mentioned to you that should there be an escalation between the United States and Iran, we would most likely face a market correction. A correction did occur, but it was rather minor. Bitcoin's price only reached $63,000, then stabilized once more, and is currently in this sideways movement. What exactly is happening right now, at this very moment? Yesterday, the official markets opened and showed an upward trend, but today they are once again moving downwards. Consequently, for instance, the Asian markets have already started to fall. Currently, European markets are moving downwards, and it's essential to be extremely cautious in the cryptocurrency market, because if they continue to fall even further, there's a very strong probability that crypto markets will also experience a decline. However, at least oil prices are still continuing their upward trajectory. I can briefly show you this. Look at this first, then we'll move on to the events. You see oil is kind of rising. The US index in pre-market is in the red. But let's now turn our attention back to Bitcoin. So generally speaking, the crypto market's reaction to this escalation was quite positive. We didn't see an immediate drop, but there's still a possibility of a correction, so please do be cautious. Regarding the resistance levels, they are currently located at 68,600 and 75,500. We are interested in whether there will be a correction, meaning if we'll go lower towards 55 or perhaps even $45,000, or if the growth will continue. Let's look at other economic events that are also important. On Friday, unemployment data will be released. For the market to continue growing and for the Fed to lower the interest rate, we need the unemployment data to increase. Additionally, this coming Wednesday on the 11th of March, we'll be receiving the latest inflation data. This is also a very significant event. And by the way, because of this ongoing escalation that's currently taking place, there might be a growing fear that inflation will significantly increase in the short term, and then the Federal Reserve will most likely not lower interest rates in June, as we had previously anticipated. But we will certainly be keeping a close eye on this situation both this week and next. As for the next set of data, on Friday, March 13th, the US GDP will be released. This is also a significant event. As I said, it might be problematic, the fact that there's an ongoing escalation between Iran and the US. This could be quite problematic in the sense that the Federal Reserve might not lower the interest rate in June, but they will certainly inform us in March how they intend to proceed in the immediate future. 4th or the 3rd after the close of the American market, another American company reports, and then the quarterly reports will end. As for support and resistance zones, we discussed them when Bitcoin's price was still at $77,000. I told you there's support between $70,000 and $55,000, and the next support will only be at 45 and 40. Then we have 29 and 20. As I told you, this support line, or this boost, it ends right here at 55, and the next one will be over here. That is, if we assume that the escalation will still continue for a long time, the market probably expects the escalation to last several weeks and then conclude. But if it suddenly continues for a long time, then you need to keep an eye on this zone of $55,000. So here it's quite strong. At 58, the trend passes through, but the support zone here ends at 55. Then it goes to 45 and 40. This is a potential entry point for a long position. When I'll be entering a long position, it will be when the price is most likely to break through this specific blue line. That is, it's a trend line. Alternatively, I will enter a long position when we observe a correction towards one of the subsequent support zones. Then from that point, I will attempt to enter a long position because growth will commence either from a horizontal support zone or at the precise moment the trend line is broken. But actually, it will start from horizontal support. So at this very moment, you should, without a doubt, be careful. The probability of further escalation is real. It's already happening. The only question is how long it will simply last. As for the price of XRP. Now look, we also talked about how if there's a correction, Bitcoin would most likely go down. The escalation did occur. Bitcoin didn't fall significantly, and XRP didn't fall much either. But this situation could still change. So far, yesterday was only the first day of official trading. Today will be the second day, and the second day looks to be in the red so far. Therefore, at this moment, you should orient yourselves by these support areas, by these supports that I've shown you. That is, if Bitcoin falls to $60,000, then XRP will approximately stop right here at $1.12. Next, we have a support zone at $55,000, which for Bitcoin translates to 96 cents. Then $50,000 for Bitcoin would be 80 cents. And following that, $45,000 for Bitcoin for XRP, this would then mean 66 cents. And then finally 57 cents. So these are the support levels in case the escalation continues for an extended period. Just as we discussed in our previous videos, these are resistance lines, $1.43 and $1.60. What are they for? From these lines, there's a chance of correction just like with Bitcoin. It approaches them and then it goes down again. So the XRP trend hasn't changed yet, as you can see. It's in a sideways movement, a rather dull sideways movement, one could say. And for now, the trend is still downwards. Regarding the current price of Solana didn't really drop all that much either. All altcoins didn't fall significantly after this recent escalation that occurred. As for the support zones, if the correction continues in the coming weeks, where are these key support levels? Let's review them once more. So here we have $60,000 for Bitcoin and then $68. And here will be $55,000 for Bitcoin, which corresponds to $56. Then this zone $50,000 for Bitcoin translates to $47 for Solana. And then we'd see $40 and $34 roughly if Bitcoin's price falls to $40,000. So these are all potential entry points for long positions, and the best entry point for a long position will be when Solana's price breaks through this blue line. That's when I'll most likely enter a position. As of now, as you can see, if we look at the long-term perspective, the rate is falling. It's in a downward trend. It is currently in a sideways movement. That's where it is. But if we look at it globally, since September, it has been in decline. If we are to summarize what's very important to understand right now, then generally speaking, the reaction was positive. The market didn't drop significantly right away. It did fall, but not dramatically. It has stabilized. And this implies that if this escalation were to persist for several more weeks, then the exchange rate won't significantly decline for these particular reasons, meaning it will gradually perhaps trend downwards, but there won't be a major sharp correction anymore. In other words, the significant shock is now over. Some very extreme escalation occurs. This could happen, but I don't think we'll see a bigger correction now than those support zones I showed you. Be careful in the market. It's still too early to open the champagne, but sooner or later that moment will come. I wish you a good evening and see you soon.